A few years ago, I was browsing online when I came across an Angry Joe video where he was reviewing a franchise I never heard about called Total War, and the game he happened to be reviewing was called Shogun 2. With me being a fan of his channel, I decided to watch and I was instantly amazed. I never saw a game where you could have large armies battle it out while being in command of them. I instantly knew I had to get this game. The only problem is it was for PC only. And of course, at the time, I couldn't even afford a good enough PC to run this game, let alone find enough money to buy one. I knew that eventually when I did get a PC, it would be my first game. So, in the meantime, I kept my eyes on the Total War franchise, seeing that not only was Shogun 2 available, but also other eras of history, like Napoleon, which was awesome, Medieval, which was a fan favorite, and of course, fictional things like Warhammer. It was so interesting to see something I always envisioned when I was a kid playing with my action figures turn out to be reality. Oh, come on, you never had that action figure lore? I mean, come on, didn't everybody do that? Before I moved a couple years ago, I decided to get myself a gaming laptop to, of course, run some games, and I thought it'd be a good jumping off point for me and a good entry point, and thinking that a laptop can run a Total War game. So I booted up the game and, yeah, it could run it, but it sounded like a damn F-16 clearing for ground takeoff. So I waited for yet another few years, and with the help of setting up my PC from my friend Brian, as well as some other help from my friend Charlie, I was able to sit down and finally play a game I had been wanting to play for years. Shogun 2 isn't just a video game, it's one of the best strategy games I have ever played. I am a sucker for history. Being fascinated with the world is something I highly urge anyone to look into because we should always remember one's history and those who came before us. I am a sucker for certain time periods and just sitting down to watch documentaries on them. And one of those time periods is feudal Japan. A time of turmoil along with rich history, Shogun 2 without a doubt is my favorite Total War game. I know a lot of people like Medieval and or Warhammer, but to me, this game just continues to scratch that itch. Why? Well, because along with Shogun 2 comes another DLC called Fall of the Samurai, which is not only an amazing expansion, but getting to see the technological advancements of battle and how the modernization of Japan took place is unreal to say the least. And sometimes, it just doesn't even seem fair, to be honest with you. Shogun 2 has some really awesome game modes. For instance, Campaign, where you or a friend in multiplayer can team up to take over the entirety of Japan. It's not only fun, but it's also strategic. When playing co-op Campaign, you have to manage your resources, troop movements, attrition, and when everything is clicking, it is one of the best experiences you can have. You can also reinforce your friend's army if they're having trouble, sink opposing ships who are blockading their ports for trade. Shout out to my friend Brian for sinking all those damn ships and saving my ass. Campaigns aren't just a walk in the park. They can be challenging or relaxing. It's totally up to you. The point I'm driving home here, and if you can't tell, is that this game has so much replayability, you can sink hundreds of hours easily into this game, just like any other Total War game in the series. If you don't feel like doing a campaign, custom battles is always something to have fun with by setting up scenarios to practice or just mess around. And I mean, come on, who wouldn't like to see what certain units are capable of? You also have historic battles, which are fun ways to play, as well as learning what certain battles must have been like back then. It's a very, very nice touch. Now, I think this goes without saying that when you have thousands of troops fighting one another, well, let's just say sometimes things don't go exactly the way you planned. Siege battles can cause major, and I mean major frustrations, especially when in the heat of the moment, when you have to get your troops to scale the wall, and your friend loses his shit trying to tell them to scale the wall.
Oh my god, why does he want to scale down there? Scale here! You fucking... Get here! There they go. Fucking Christ, bro.
Another problem is AI will sometimes just sit on top of a hill and won't move, waiting for you to come to them. Even if you have the better position, the AI will just stay there, and it is beyond infuriating. Don't get it twisted. When things work, it is amazing. But in the heat of the moment, when situations when you're relying on your armies to do exactly what you tell them to do, well, let's just say shit can go to 0 to 100 real quick, forcing you to be adaptive as well as keeping your cool. And when you hear that you're about to win the battle, the experience can be exhilarating. Don't let all the stuff on screen fool you though. This is one of the best Total War games to start out with for beginners. It has a fantastic tutorial along with simple gameplay that is easy to get the hang of, but hard to master. The craziest thing for me is watching the troops, and I know that sounds a little bit weird, but once I get my formation set up, I love watching the battles unfold, going down to see regiments blasting rifles, an arrow volley hitting troops, or impressive melee combat that is brutal as it is graceful. There are so many things going on in a short period of time, it really makes you appreciate that you didn't have to go through this time period because, well, let's just be real here, a lot of us wouldn't make it during this time. The animations that play out when you send your units for a charge or cannon fire decimating formations, I never get tired of seeing the adjustments you make on the battlefield have an instant effect. Speaking of the battlefield, the units in this game are all varied, making sure you know their strengths as well as their weaknesses. The art direction and soundtrack for this game are just phenomenal. Pair that with beautiful backdrops setting the stage. The announcers are quotable as well as terrific, increasing the player's immersion and feeding them crucial information that is playing out in real time. You just can't get better than this, man. It's such a good game.
My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours.
Look, I know for a lot of people, PC gaming is their preferred way to game. For me, however, I will always take consoles over PC. Now, hear me out. Don't get mad yet, okay? I grew up with consoles all my life, so I'm just used to that. And I also still prefer physical media for my games as well as for the preservation. That being said though, there are certain games that consoles can't play or the limitations are too great. There are so many great games for all systems, but when it comes to real-time strategy, a genre I had no idea I would even remotely like, ultimately, the level of control, speed, and precision that a PC offers makes it the ideal platform for an RTS game, as well as many others. From starting out years ago watching an Angry Joe show review to now finally getting my hands on the game after so many years of waiting to play and put hours into this, Total War Shogun 2 stands as a true masterpiece for me. Seamlessly blending historical authenticity with deeply engaging gameplay, its meticulous attention to detail from the diverse samurai clans to the beautifully rendered Japanese landscapes, it creates an immersive experience that few strategy games can match. The game's combination of turn-based strategy and real-time battles allow you to feel the weight of each decision that you make, capturing the strategic depth and brutal beauty of feudal Japan. Shogun 2 is not just a game, it's a journey through history, making every battle and every alliance feel deeply personal, and cementing it its place as a timeless classic in the genre. It will always be the game that not only introduced me to the real-time strategy genre, but was the whole reason I got a PC in the first place. Thank you all so much for watching, please stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.
もみじに染まる